Most e-commerce dashboards show sales. They don't really show where profit is disappearing. So this dashboard does both. It tracks revenue, net profit, margin leaks, and gives a simple read on whether the business looks ready to scale or needs fixing first. And once the structure is in place, the rest of the dashboard starts making a lot more sense. The goal here isn't just to make something that looks good in Excel, it's to build something that actually helps answer better business questions. What's working, what's hurting margin, and where the pressure is really coming from. So let's start where all of that begins, the data. This is built on product-level e-commerce data across channels, so there's enough depth here to analyze performance by product, by channel, and over time. Before any formulas go in, the page has to make sense, because if the structure is clean, the dashboard becomes much easier to follow once the numbers start appearing. So this first part is really about building a clear canvas for the story the data is going to tell. And once that canvas is there, the hierarchy starts to matter. This part is all about hierarchy. The top of the page should answer the quick business questions fast, and the lower section should explain what's driving those numbers underneath. Once that separation is clear, the dashboard already starts to feel more intentional. The next step is making that structure obvious at a glance. If this kind of practical Excel dashboard content is useful to you, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because I'll be building more like this. Labels might seem small, but they do a lot of work. They tell the viewer where to look first, what each section is supposed to answer, and how the page should be read. A good dashboard should feel obvious before it even becomes interactive. And now that the front end is mapped out, the back end needs to support it properly. This step looks simple, but it makes everything downstream easier. Once the data is properly structured, the model becomes more stable, the pivots behave better, and the dashboard becomes much easier to control. And that's where the real engine of the dashboard comes in. Most of the heavy lifting happens in the background. This support layer is what makes the front end feel clean later on. It organizes the logic so the dashboard can stay focused on insight instead of looking like a worksheet exploded. And once that logic is in place, the dashboard can finally become dynamic. Once the controls are in place, the dashboard stops being static. Now the same view can be explored by year, month, channel, or even product, which is where it starts to become genuinely useful instead of just presentable. These are the headline numbers, the ones most people naturally look at first. Revenue, net profit, margin, orders, average order value, profit per order. They give the business summary quickly, but they still don't explain why performance looks the way it does. That deeper layer is where the dashboard starts getting much more useful. Great. Now the slicers are operational. These top-line indicators give a quick read on the business, and with the slicers in place, they update instantly across time, channel, and product. Now let's move towards decision indicators. This is where the dashboard moves beyond reporting. Profit leak percentage fee load refund drag, return on ad spend, and the scale score all help explain what might be quietly hurting performance underneath the top-line numbers. And once those are visible, the dashboard starts shifting from summary into diagnosis. If you'd rather not build all of this manually, I'll link the editable version below so you can check it out later. If you want to use this with your own store data, the ready-made template is in the description. And this is where the dashboard gets smarter, because the deeper indicators reveal what's actually driving profitability behind the top-line numbers. Enough talking, let's move towards our next chart. This chart matters because revenue can be misleading on its own. A business can grow sales and still feel weaker underneath. Putting revenue and net profit side by side makes it much easier to see whether growth is actually healthy or just expensive. But even that still doesn't show where the pressure is coming from most clearly. If this kind of practical Excel dashboard content is useful to you, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because I'll be building more like this. And this is really the core of the dashboard. Instead of stopping at profit, it shows where profit is leaking away. Fees, ad spend, shipping, refunds, discounts, the things that slowly eat into margin. Once this is visible, the dashboard becomes much more actionable. And from there, it makes sense to pull out the few signals that matter most at a glance. A dashboard becomes easier to use when it can summarize the important signals quickly. So this section pulls out the strongest channel, the biggest leak, and the standout revenue period, just enough to make the page easier to interpret without overloading it. And once those signals are clear, the last step is turning them into a decision. This final panel turns all the numbers into one clear direction, whether you can scale, monitor, or fix. And if you want the ready-made version for your store, the full template is linked below. So that's the full build in just over 7 minutes. Now let's take a look at the final product, and this is where the dashboard really proves its value. Filter by year, month, channel, or product, and the entire view updates instantly. That means faster reporting, clearer decisions, and a much more honest view of performance. If you found this useful, subscribe, and if you want the full editable version of this one, you'll find the link in the description.